Hi and welcome to this beginner acoustic lesson where I'm going to be teaching you the chord progression to Knockin' on Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan. There's only 4 chords in this song. It's pretty easy, it's all just beginners, sort of open chords. I'm going to show you sort of like a strumming pattern that you can practice for it as well, and maybe like a few little extra embellishments for the chords that you can maybe throw in there as well. I'm just going to play it through just a couple of times just so you can get a feel for it, and then I'll just break it down bit by bit. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through the chords that are being used, and I'm going to break down the strumming pattern there for you. So the first chord we've got is just our open G major chord. So for any of you that maybe don't, since this is a beginner lesson, I'll probably take a bit of time actually to go through the finger positioning for each of these chords. So for any of you that aren't familiar with this chord shape, we have our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E. We have our index finger on the A string, at the 2nd fret, it's a B note. And the ring finger is going to stretch over and grab the 3rd fret of the high E string. The D string, the G and the B are all played open. So we have nice wee major chord. Then we have a D major chord shape. So we've got D string open, index finger is going to come at the 2nd fret of the G string, middle finger's on the 2nd fret of the high E, and then the ring finger, is coming to the 3rd fret of the B string. What I like to do as well when I'm playing the D chord, especially if you've got quite a busy strumming pattern, I like to try and bring the thumb over. This does take a little bit of practice. It's maybe not something people would first try and learn to do as a beginner, but I think it's quite an important habit to get into, is being able to mute the strings that you don't need. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing the thumb over literally just to the point where it's touching the low E string and the A string as well, so that when you hit them, they're dead, you're not hearing them sound. So if you do accidentally hit, say, all the strings, you're still only getting the 4 you need ringing out. Cool. The next chord we're going to come to in the progression is an A minor chord. So for this we have open A string, 2nd fret on both the D and the G string, D string note being played by the middle finger, and the G string note being played by the ring finger. And then the index finger will play the 1st fret on the B string, which is our C note, and then we have the high E string played open as well. And again, I'm using the thumb here. I'm not it's only the E string I want to mute out here, so I don't need to bring it as far over, just have it coming up just slightly over the edge of the neck, just so it's lightly touching against the E string. It almost feels like you're sort of resting the thumb on the side of the E string. For the next part of the progression, we come back to our G chord, D chord again, and instead of going to an A minor the second time through the progression, we come to a C major chord. So this chord shape here, we've got our index finger playing 1st fret on the B string, the middle finger is going to play the D string at the 2nd fret, and the ring finger is going to play the A string at the 3rd fret, which is our low C note, the key note of this chord. The G is played open, and the high E string is played open as well. And again, we don't want the low E string to be ringing out here. So what you could do is still maybe try and bring the thumb over to mute it out, or you can use the ring finger to press against the side of the E string. Maybe a good idea would be to get used to doing both, really, just in case, say, your thumb's you've maybe not got that technique down. You're still using this finger here against the side of this string to mute it out. Okay, right, so for the strumming pattern, I'm going to be using, for this lesson, just the most basic form, I'm going to be teaching you just the one strumming pattern to use on all of the chords. So the strumming pattern I'm going to be using is down, down, up, down. So that's going to be down, down, up, down, up. So we've got 1. The way I would count it is what you're doing is you're breaking every second beat into group of 4. So you've got 1, so a down stroke on beat 1, then 2 E and a. So 1, 2 E and 3, So I'll just demonstrate that with the progression. So we have 1, 2, E, and a 3. On the 3s when we go to our D chord, 3, 4, E, and a 1, 2, E, and A. And then the A minor chord is played for double the length of the other chords before it. So we have 2 bars instead of 1 for the chord. So we have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, and back to G, D, C. Now, a little embellishment that I want to go into that you can use to embellish the C major chord is using the pinky. Once you've got your C chord shape, you're using the pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string to play a D note. It just fits nice within this key. You know, going back to the G chord, the D note seems to work really well. So the best way I would say to do that, when we come to the C chord, you could play. And on beat 3, there we hit the D note. Sorry, so we have G, down, up, D, down, up, C, down, up. And then this chord it's called a C add 9. So we hit our C add 9 on beat 3. So halfway through. Or you could even wait until you do the 4 strums before going back. You could do 3, 4, E, and Da, and on beat 4 is when you hit the C add 9. These types of things are really down to yourselves to sort of work out how you want to experiment with them. It's not something you have to have set. Every beat has to be this note here. When you're embellishing chords, there is a lot of room for improvising, really, if you want to just decide spur of the moment when you want to chuck it in as well. But for the time being, I would say for beginners, just work on maybe throwing it in a couple of different places and work on getting the timing tight as well, because sometimes changing and adding new things to certain chord shapes can maybe throw you off a little bit when you're first trying to practice them. So just take time with it and just work with it and see what happens. So that is pretty much the full song. It's really just the same sort of chord progression throughout the whole thing. As well, the strumming pattern, it's not too hard. If you practice with a metronome, and make sure to count it all the time and be tapping your foot at the same time. So you've got down, down, 1, 2, E, and 1, 2, E, and 3, 4, E, and a 1. Cool. So that brings us to the end of the lesson then. I hope you managed to pick something up from that. Well, thanks again for watching.